Hi wrestling fans, thanks for clicking today's Dreaded D Rose report. Sorry I haven't been on here for a while. Holidays had me tied up. Well, we got a big storm outside today. Hey, I hope to have better lighting and stuff in here like tomorrow. I hope. But thanks for sticking with me. Let me see what we got going. Like I say, it's been the holidays, so not much goes on when everybody's home. And everybody's having a good time. They're not getting in trouble. Yes, I got my hair back. Hey, WWE officials are going back and forth on whether or not to do a RYBACK versus CM Punk match that's going to actually take place on January 7th. Get this chair around here. But anyway, with The Rock, because with Rock in the house that night, should they do the match, plan would have been to have Rock at ringside though. The idea that could hype a match all night long with the idea that RYBACK could be going to the Royal Rumble to defend his title against The Rock. Another angle hadn't been thought of. Well, apparently somebody thought of it right here. Anyway, sources say to expect at least one segment with The Rock and RYBACK that night. And on a related note, it said that The Rock is perfectly fine with dropping the title to John Cena at WrestleMania 29. No problem there. It's been reported The Rock has been under the impression he's going to be that he will be the one to end CM Punk's title reign at Royal Rumble, but see, he was under the impression of, so doesn't mean it's going to happen. And some of Michael Cole's voiceovers for Monday's Raw, the Christmas Eve show, they were taped at his house. How lucky can you be with that? Cole has a recording studio inside his home. Like to have that. And Mark Henry's status is described touch and go. If you touch him, you better get the hell away. No. Touch and go with, anyway, Henry, he's supposed to be back a while ago, but he's still having some shoulder injuries, I guess. And there's been rumblings of Henry just not returning, but most expect him to be back before WrestleMania. And to talk about WrestleMania, Christian, he's still on schedule for a return in mid-January. Just in time for the Royal Rumble. They still haven't decided whether he's going to be returning as a face or a heel, though. And it doesn't matter with him. We kind of half-ass like him anyway. And the WWE app, if you haven't got it yet, you're probably about the only one. The mustache is falling out. Do they? I don't know. Anyway, WWE app exclusive video from Christmas Eve show, Oksana allures the new WWE announcer Tony Dawson away from his job. Matt Striker usually hosts WWE's second screen experience, but Dawson took over this week. He was off on holiday. And Road Dogg Jesse James, BG James, and a bunch of other things you want to call him, and Billy Gunn, they've been advertised to appear at this weekend's Raw Holiday Tour events. An update, the New Age Outlaws are actually being advertised to wrestle at Sunday's event in Raleigh, North Carolina. And they're scheduled to face Cody Rhodes, Damian Sandow. No word if they're on other live events, though. And they should be to get the ring rust off. And WWE Crew is going to be returning to work today with live Raw in Detroit, Michigan. And SmackDown is from Chicago. And set for a Raw event, Cena taking on Ziggler, and Cesaro taking on The Miz, Shield taking on Ryback, Kane, and Bryant in a steel cage. And there's going to be an appearance by New Age Outlaws and more. Advertised for SmackDown right now, all we got is Sheamus taking on Big Show again. WWE may be taping a Diva title match between Caitlyn and Eve Torres at Raw, taping in Washington, D.C. this Saturday. The episode may air on the New Year's Eve show. And former star Dennis Knight turns 44 years old today, or Midian, or a lot of... He's went through so many personas, it's incredible. Might hold a record. And the 2012 Year in Photos issue magazine of WWE is now on sale for $9.99 at WWE's shop website. And tonight's episode of Main Event is going to be featuring a battle royal to determine the #1 contender for Cesaro's U.S. title. Jinder Mahal and McIntyre taking on Kidd, and Justin Gabriel also is going to be airing. Big E Langston is now listed on the Superstar website, WWE.com. The Score in Canada won't be airing WWE NXT, Vintage Collection, and SmackDown on December 28th due to the coverage of college football. The 3 WWE programs will air NXT December 27th, 12 a.m. and 4 p.m. Vintage Collection December 27th, 5 p.m. And December 29th, 7 p.m. And SmackDown is going to be on December 29th, 8 p.m. and December 30th, 12 a.m. Please make a note of it. On Monday's Raw, WWE officially began advertising 20th anniversary show for January 14th, 2013 in Houston, Texas. And local entertainments that airs did not mention any special appearances for the show. Nobody out of the ordinary. WWE currently advertising a match with John Cena and Sheamus taking on Big Show and Ziggler as a top match, main event. And WWE's episode of Raw scored a 114,000 in social media activity, according to Trendor TV. Since the announcement, I don't know whether that's good or bad, by the way. Since the announcement of the THQ bankruptcy may have questioned the future of WWE 14 video game. According to WWEGaming.com, the game is included in THQ's production development budget for the fiscal year ending March 31st, 2014, regardless who gets THQ's assets. If a successful purchase is worked out, the game's going to be released. They usually just sell off assets and make it a new name. Sometimes if it's got a good name, they'll take the name with it. Last Friday's episode of SmackDown did a replay from Tuesday, did 1.85 million viewers. Originally airing on USA, drew out 3.3 million viewers. Might be something to look at. Keep doing that. WWE.com has published a list of the top 50 moments of 2012. Now, let's just see if you agree or disagree. According to the list, well, I don't have one through whatever, but anyway, it says Undertaker defeating Triple H at WrestleMania 28. Brock Lesnar's return. CM Punk is the longest reigning WWE champion in the last 25 years. Or The Rock defeated John Cena at WrestleMania 28, or Undertaker defeating H at WrestleMania 28. Did I not repeat that twice? It's on there twice. Odd, isn't it? All right, Dolph Ziggler is back with another installment, if you watch that, of WWE Download YouTube show. And NXT star Cassius Ohno turns 33 years old either today or yesterday, whichever he picks. I don't know whether I got an old birthday on here or not. And by the way, there's after Wednesday's episode of WWE Main Event, Titus O'Neil and Young snapped a 11-match losing streak for TV by defeating Zack Ryder and Santino. Another losing streak for TV is Wade Barrett's. His loss at Tuesday's Super Show was his 7th in a row. Attaboy. Aaron, oh, by the way, CM Punk is celebrating his 400th day as U.S. champion today. Good old 400. Don't tell Bruno Sammartino, he'll say, "Dah, that's nothing." All right, Jim Ross was asked on Twitter how many WrestleMania events that The Undertaker has left him in, has left in him. My fault. He says, not an abundance, he says, count them on one hand. Rock issuing a warning to CM Punk on Twitter, says, "Hush, little baby, don't say a word. It's just the beast." WWE champion, Punk, time's up. Eric Bischoff, by the way, this is kind of odd. Via Twitter, he said, check out Bischoff Hervey Entertainment Television, Hardcore Pawn Chicago, appearing January 1st, 9:30 p.m. on True TV. I thought they already had a Hardcore Pawn on. right, I'm going to finish off this thing with a little on this day in 1963. The wrestling world lost a WWE Hall of Famer, Gorgeous George. At only 48 years old, George trained in his local YMCA, Houston, Texas, having competed in a carnival circuit, and was taking bookings from Morris Siegel at just age 17. He won his first championship in 1938, defeating Buck Lipscomb, and realized the potential for showmanship in wrestling. Anyway, he debuted as Gorgeous George persona in 1941 in Oregon to rapturous reception, and was soon the top draw in that area, and fans came from all over to ridicule the overly effeminate character. And he also became the first man to publicly utilize entrance music, strutting to the ring to Pump and Circumstance, later used by Randy Savage. Pump and Circumstance, didn't know that. Anyway, after the dawn of television wrestling, George became a national celebrity, and he was able to command 50% of the gate for his performance for just even being there, giving him an annual earnings of about $100,000, which equals about $800,000 today. Over the next few years, he would win titles in Boston, Georgia, Gulf Coast. By 1960, age and alcohol and abuse of them began taking their toll on his performances. George retired in 1962 following a match against the Destroyer, after which he opened a turkey farm and a restaurant. And sadly, a series of bad investments ruined his finances and his health, with stress rumored to have played a large part in his fatal heart attack. Most likely wasn't he overweight. Gorgeous George, his impact on wrestling and indeed wider pop culture cannot be underestimated. Muhammad Ali, James Brown, Elton John, Bob Dylan all claim to take inspiration from him in some form or the other. Hey, thanks for clicking, you guys. I gotta go find a shirt. I gotta go.